Altor in 2005 identified that the marine electronics industry could do with some changes. The industry was very fragmented. There was a number of smaller players. And so they went in and bought three different companies from three different parts of the world in order to create this powerhouse in marine electronics.
And I would call it a $300 million startup at that point. That was kind of the phrase we used to use back then, because there was a lot that wasn't established. We didn't have many processes. We had cultures that were from literally all over the globe. You could just name off the inefficiencies, we had them.
We obviously, being a discretionary product that goes on a discretionary product, i.e. electronics on a boat, we were the very, very first part of the industry to actually stop. And we were actually, in a lot of cases, we were before the rest of the world actually started to talk about this global crisis. So we saw our sales in 1 year drop, I think it was 40%.
So now we're faced with an organization that was too big, an organization that was inefficient, a management team that was all good in their own way, but not a team yet. And this was the opportunity really to galvanize that team and begin to bring together a company that could move forward. The Altor response was fantastic, to be honest. I consider that one of our greatest assets. So they sat us around a table and they literally said, let's look at this from a zero starting point. Let's just take everything out, pretend you had to start it over. What would we need today versus what we have? That plan was, how do you make a long-term business in this industry facing the reality of today?
We wanted to make sure that we had one service organization, one supply chain organization, and one product platform from where we could develop the three brands that we have today.
So it was really very much a fact of Altor coming in and saying, okay, this is our vision for creating the world's largest marine electronics supplier. This is the cost base and the profitability we believe we can achieve with it. This is what we need to do it.
When we first started Navico, we had a very, very old and tired platform and portfolio. Now 80% of our sales are on products that are less than 3 years old. We release a product every 20 days. I mean, the change and transformation from where we were is hard for even us to get our heads around it. Like our biggest competitors, we would be releasing 2-3 times as many products a year as they are. We had, at its peak, we had 2,500 employees, and we're down to about 1,300 employees. And we've also had huge staff turnover to fit the business at a different time. And as a result, we've got an incredibly strong group of guys. When you have that kind of consolidation, you end up with just rock stars in every part of the organisation. Altor's thinking on the way we develop our strategies is really interesting. I've asked them a number of times, do we think long term, short term, when do you want to exit? Every single time they tell us not to worry about that.
From the beginning they said, look, we're in this for the long run. We see companies through the various stages of development, and in your case, you know, we've taken you private and now we're looking to do long-term growth. We want to build value.
Altor and the Navico management team used the economic crash as a catalyst to make huge changes in the company. They consolidated and simplified. 7 brands became 3, 16 product platforms were reduced to 1, and operations from 6 factories around the world were moved to 1 plant in Ensenada, Mexico. That resulted in a financial turnaround that makes Navico the most profitable company in the industry, and is consistently gaining market share.
We probably would have done this stuff if Altor hadn't driven it, but would have probably done it in 10 years' time or 15 years' time, and we wouldn't have survived.
The Altor team, I think we lay it out on the table, and they do the same with us. And sometimes it hurts, but only for a short period. Then you realize that, hey, this is what we need to do to go forward, is recognize where we're weak. As an owner, I honestly can't offer anything that Altor could do better. I feel they've given us the support we need, they've given us the independence that we need, and they've given us obviously the financial backing to make the right decisions, and that long-term mindset of, look, do what's right for the business long-term. And with that, I'm not sure what else we could want.